Hello my dudes, today's video is going to be about my recent struggles with period pains and severe PMS. I have been trying a lot of different things to try to get a hold of all of these symptoms and issues, and it's been a mess. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel me because menstruation can be kind of hell on earth sometimes. So, a little bit about my period. It is very regular. I'm not currently on any kind of hormonal birth controls, but it comes every month, same time. I track it with a period app just to keep myself in check. It's usually 5 to 6 days, but the first 3 days, specifically the first 2 days of my period, are always absolutely horrendously painful. My cramps are no joke. These are the kind of cramps that are so bad that they make me actually feel nauseous. My lower back aches. It's so hard for me to even stand. I tried to arrange my month literally around my period to make sure that those 2 days I have minimal things going on because I'm incapable of doing anything. It's obviously really stressful with school or work or anything that you have to do in life if you're not capable of doing anything, which is how I feel the first 2 days of my period. I know if you get cramps or period pains, it's uncomfortable for everybody, but if you have the kind of cramps that debilitate you know? For me, it has just been a regular habit to take as many painkillers as I possibly have to be able to get the cramps at least reduced. But honestly, even with taking way more than the max amount that you're recommended to take every day, it just wasn't doing enough to control my cramps. And then one day I saw an ad on Facebook for a company called Livia, which has a device that can help reduce the pain of menstrual cramps. I literally bought Livia, tried it out, and then reached out to the company to work together because I love this product and I want to be able to share it with people because when I was looking for reviews, I wish I had seen more videos and things, so it's always good to hear from more people. Basically, the way that it works is there are these electrodes and little sticky gels that you will put on your abdomen or wherever you need it, and the electrodes, basically, this is not scientific, but they distract the pain receptors and help stop some of the menstrual pain signals from going to your brain. I hope I'm explaining that correctly. It's a slight vibrating, shocking kind of feeling. It doesn't hurt until you go too high. Basically, it's this gentle buzzing. And for some people, it provides immediate relief for their cramps. For some people, it helps reduce cramps. There is a lot of trial and error with this. You have to really try to position the electrodes in the right spot to get the ideal effect. But so far, I have been really happy with my Livia. The gel things can get kind of uncomfortable on your skin after a while, but I did actually use the Livia on my first day at work at Starbucks, which was great. Cramp it on your first day. You're sticking the electrodes on your skin, so it's under your shirt, under your clothes. It can hook right into your pocket or your jeans, and it's not loud enough to where anybody can hear it, so nobody knows that you've got a little guy in your pocket trying to distract your brain from your unbearable uterus cramps. So the Livia is an investment, and I was skeptical about buying it, but they do have a money-back guarantee. So if you are looking for an alternative and you want to try something new, you can try it out for a few periods. If it doesn't work, you can send it back. And if it does, you've got a new drug-free way to handle your cramps, or at least, basically what I use it for is a boost when I need a little something extra on top of all my painkillers. So again, thank you so much, Livia, for working with me on this video. If you guys are interested in checking out the product, you can click the link in the description. So back to my period woes. My last period, all of the Tylenol that I was using wasn't working. It just wasn't helping, and I was using a lot of it. So I finally decided to try my old tried and true Advil, ibuprofen again, and it helped. So I think for me, the use of specific painkillers helps more than others. I know a lot of people like Midol. I've never used it, but for me, Advil, ibuprofen is always the way to go. So that was a major thing. That made my period this month so much more bearable. Even though it may interfere with my teeth movement for that few days, I need to be able to survive my period. So another thing, like I said, I used my Livia. There were times in the middle of the night where my cramps would be really bad and I would just get up, put the Livia on, half awake, go back to sleep, take it off when I felt like I didn't need it anymore, and that was awesome. Another very comforting thing is a hot water bottle. I've got mine right here. It's basically wearing a pink turtleneck. This alone would not be able to stop or even reduce my cramps, but just the comfort of holding something very warm is really nice. Another thing that I very briefly tried was a combination of apple cider vinegar and blackstrap molasses. Again, in the past few months, I have been desperately Googling any kind of remedies to lessen the pain of menstrual cramps. And a lot of people recommended blackstrap molasses because apparently the nutrients in it can help reduce menstrual cramps, because sometimes your cramps can be worsened by certain deficiencies. I don't even remember. I tried it one time. It was like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of blackstrap molasses, which are both horrible tasting things, in like hot water. It made me feel so sick for the rest of the day. I didn't want to try it again. But if any of you have had any success with blackstrap molasses or apple cider vinegar or any other like dietary thing, please let me know. And finally, to the PMS portion of this video. I feel like in the past I was never bothered too deeply by PMS. Of course, I would feel a little bit more irritable or have a little bit of mood swings, a little bit of cramping before my period started. But like in the past few months, I have really noticed how bad my PMS is. And it absolutely has to be PMS because it's always around the time right before my period starts. So in the past few months, I have been really struggling with these waves of anxiety. And for like pretty much the first time ever, little bits of depression. It's not normal for me to feel depressed, like actual deeply unmotivated, feeling like nothing matters, hopeless, black hole kind of feeling. Like that was so unfamiliar to me until recently, and I just thought I was going crazy because I was having these horrible weeks at a time where I was just so anxious and so depressed and I could barely sleep, just all around feeling horrendous and feeling like it was never gonna end. I went and saw a new doctor recently because I'm trying to get all this figured out. And based on my answers to different questions, they're like, yeah, we think you're dealing with some levels of anxiety and depression. I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm feeling way better. I felt bad like 2 weeks ago, but now I feel good. And it took me until like very recently to realize I was feeling my worst in the week or two before my period. And then of course my period itself was like physically and mentally exhausting. And then right when my period is ending, I feel completely back to normal. My motivation is back up. I feel physically better. I feel happy. I have energy. So again, none of this is confirmed because I just had to get my blood tests redone. The lab messed up my first round of blood tests. Basically 8 tubes of blood just thrown away, and then I had to get it redone. Ugh. So I just had blood drawn again, so I will be getting the results of my tests to see if I have any like deficiencies or make sure everything is fine. But at this point, based on my Googling and listening to other people's testimonials and things, it sounds like I may have something called PMDD. I don't want to assume that because again, a doctor has not told me that, but I was watching a video of a woman who experiences PMDD and her symptoms were very similar to mine. She had like really dramatic spikes of anxiety and depression prior to her period. Basically, PMDD is like a very severe form of PMS. So anyway, at this point, what I'm thinking is I want to get back on the pill. I've been off the pill for at least like 3 or 4 years now because I didn't want to be taking hormones and I wanted to do other methods of birth control. And it's been fine until now. I cannot handle having basically half of my month absolutely ruined. And like so much of my mental and physical wellness being thrown off by these hormones. So I'm gonna be looking into it and hopefully I'll be starting the pill soon. And I'm planning on just trying to see if having a steady dose of hormones and skipping my periods through the pill, if that will stop these symptoms. Because if most of these issues are because of PMS and during my period, if I skip my period, I assume I will feel much better. So that is that. I'm sorry this was a long video, but honestly, it's just so much information. I've been going through so much and I've been trying to figure this out. And I'm really, really hoping that I'm finally putting the pieces together in terms of what works, in terms of what helps my period, my cramps, my pains. Shouts out Livia, shouts out Advil, shouts out birth control maybe. If you guys have any tips, tricks, or you just want to vent about your own horrible period experiences, feel free to do so in the comments below. I love you guys. I hope you're feeling good. And again, please check out Livia because it could be the secret to making your period more bearable. Okay, thanks, bye!